In less than a week, those of us who pre-ordered Glorious's GMMK Pro will finally get our hands on it after a long 4-month wait. And leading up to its release, Glorious has provided some great insight into the Pro and answered some questions many enthusiasts wanted to know. Hey guys, mine is Product, and in this video we're going to be talking about Glorious's GMMK Pro. I'm excited, and I hope you guys are too. Let's get into this thing. So just to give you guys a little background, Glorious is a company that specializes in PC peripherals. They're most notably known for their line of mouses called the Odin, which encompasses the very popular Model O and Model D. They also sell a line of keyboards known as the GMMK series, with the GMMK Pro being their latest and greatest release. So this begs the question, why am I excited about this release? What makes this board so special among the hundreds that are already out there? Well, to start, the GMMK Pro isn't your typical keyboard that's housed in a plastic casing, nor does it look like what you imagine a keyboard would look like. Because with all things considered, this may be the last keyboard you'll ever need. The layout follows the trend of newly popular 75% keyboards that focus on the most important keys, such as your top F-row keys, arrow keys, and a few extra keys that you may or may not need without completely overwhelming yourself with useless keys. I mean, like, who uses the scroll lock key or the end key? In my opinion, 75% keyboards are the perfect size. I plan to use mine for work purposes, but I feel like that could change and I might end up using it as my main board. For gaming, I'm not sure, since I like to stick with a smaller board to maximize the mousepad space. If you're curious, right now I'm using the Drop All, which is a 65% keyboard, and I love it. Aside from its form factor, the GMMK Pro is housed in a high quality aluminum case, which will give it some solid weight. Now, I'm a little worried about it being easily dinged and dented. For reference, my Drop All is also made of aluminum, so if it's anything like that, then there really is nothing to worry about. Now, I'm still novice in the world of keyboards, and my opinions probably won't matter to many when it comes to rating the keyboard. For me, the Pro is my first 75% high quality keyboard that's within a reasonable price range. If you know anything about keyboards, you know that a board like this, if it were a smaller batch group buy, would run somewhere north of $350, maybe even $400. Custom keyboards like this aren't cheap and can be really hard to find if you aren't actively checking group buy forums. Another thing that I'm excited about is the customizable options you'll have when purchasing the Pro. According to the recent Twitch stream, you have the option to swap out your stock aluminum plate with either a brass or polycarbonate plate. Depending on material, plates can really change the sound of the keys in combination with different switches. For me, I think I'll go with the polycarbonate plate, as it gives much more of a thocky sound with tactile switches. But if you're curious and want to hear what each plate sounds like in action, I've listed some links below to other YouTubers who can show you this better than I can. The Pro has a customizable clickable knob at the top right corner of the board, and Glorious has made it clear that the knob is programmable, so you can basically bind any key or action to it. Keep it as a volume wheel, keep it as a scroll wheel, or even a zoom wheel. The actions are there, and it'll be interesting to see what people use it for. I will probably just keep it simple and program it to control something like my Spotify volume. I did mention that the knob is customizable, so you'll be able to choose from 3 different colors: black, white ice, and brass. Not a lot of colors, but Glorious did confirm that they'll possibly / probably have more colors in the future. As of now, I think these will make either board look sleek. Being that my board is black, I'm not totally sure which color knob I want to go for. I'm banking on brass, but black will give the board a stealthy look, so I might ultimately just choose black. And I'm assuming you'll be able to purchase additional colored knobs outside of your pre-order, but you might have to wait on that since Glorious has not yet made any announcements. But based on this picture, I think we can say it's coming. Stabilizers. Another upscale feature that the GMMK Pro will have are GOAT stabilizers. For those of you that don't know, keyboard stabilizers do pretty much as they say. They stabilize the lengthier keys and minimize shifting or wobbliness of the keys as much as possible. With cheaper keyboards, you'll notice the longer keys such as the Enter, Shift, Backspace, and most notably the spacebar, all will go around far more than any of the letter keys. According to Glorious, GOAT stabilizers are premium screw-in stabilizers designed with enthusiast quality in mind. They come pre-installed, pre-clipped, and pre-lubricated, which is awesome for someone that doesn't know what any of this means. Although, if you really don't know, definitely do some research. And what kind of high quality keyboard would this be if it didn't come with RGB? With the GMMK Pro, you'll get 16.6 million per key RGB that is fully customizable using their newly developed Glorious Core software, giving you full control of lighting, macros, key assignments, layers, and more. Now, we haven't seen or heard anything new regarding Glorious Core yet, but I assume they'll be showing more in the coming days. The GMMK Pro does include a hot swappable 5-pin PCB, which is really nice and convenient for those of us that like to swap out the switches every so often. Having 5 pins on a PCB is really nice and can stabilize the switch more than a 3-pin PCB. It's also nice because many of the switches you buy today are 5-pin switches. So if you have a 3-pin PCB and wanted to use that switch, you'd have to trim the excess pegs yourself. It's not hard, but having to do that for 70 plus switches in a consistent manner can get very tedious. And lastly, one that I'm actually happy about is USB-C. Yes, the Pro will have USB Type-C input, keeping things consistent with the future of USB in tech. And like I said, I'm actually happy about this one since I don't have to have 2 different USB cables on my desk when switching around different boards. So, with all things considered, the GMMK Pro is shaping up to be a really great keyboard that's comparable to some of the more expensive ones out there at less than half the price. I'm very excited to get my hands on it, well, whenever that is, since Glorious just updated us with a tweet mentioning slight delays. You can check out Glorious's site if you want to pre-order this bad boy now. I'll drop a link in the description below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and my enthusiasm for the keyboard. Subscribe to follow me on this new YouTube tech journey, and like the video to help it grow. Catch you guys in the next one.